Hi, I'm Sarah Martin, the Student Support Services TOSA, and this PD video is about using circles to build community in your classroom. Here is a welcoming quote for you to read. Sitting in a circle is a fundamentally different experience than sitting in rows or meeting across a desk. When we are in rows, there is generally someone standing in front, commanding attention. Clearly, this is the person who is in charge, who has the answers, and to whom the group is accountable. When we are meeting with someone who faces us from behind a desk, we also know instinctively that the authority and power belongs with that person. These arrangements have their appropriate functions, and restorative practices are intended to complement rather than replace them completely. They can be effective. However, their effectiveness may have unintended consequences. One of these is the implied lesson that the responsibility for the functioning of the community is on the shoulder of the person who holds the authority. When we sit in a circle, we experience a stronger sense of community. Every person in that circle shares responsibility for its functioning. Circle culture is more yes and than either or. Yes, there is a leader, and each person takes the lead in turn, each time it's their turn to speak. Yes, some guidelines are given, and the group makes its own agreements. Decisions are made, but by consensus of the whole group, and sometimes this means decisions come slowly or take unexpected forms. Thus, one of the main purposes of circle dialogue is building community. Another purpose is supporting the kinds of honest, authentic dialogue that is necessary to effectively respond to challenging behavior and circumstances. These two intentions for circles take shape as two different types of circles: community building and responsive. It's important to note that this video focuses on community building circles and the premise that responsive circles, or circles that are responding to misbehavior and harm, work best in classrooms where a foundation has been developed through community building circles. Think about a time when you were in a circle of any type, maybe in a classroom, maybe at recess, maybe in a staff meeting, or maybe around a campfire. Did you feel like you were part of the group? Did you feel like you were part of the community? Why or why not? The goal of this video is to talk about running circles and hopefully get you to think about circle prompts you could use in your classroom. High quality prompts focus the circle. They are relevant, provide a voice to all students. They are simple and clear. They are inquiry, not advocacy based, related to current events. They support restorying, energize the class, and invite deeper questions. Building trust in the circle is paramount. When there is trust between students, it creates a social environment in which students can safely risk self-disclosure, authenticity, confrontation, and expressing affection. Trust is not automatic, however, and students have likely had many experiences that have broken their trust. It can take considerable time and effort to build an atmosphere of trust in your classroom. We come to trust others' good intentions through experiencing them responding to us in a respectful way. We discover how much we can trust others through interactions that test their intentions. If a student shares a thought or idea that is well received, then that student begins to trust the good intentions of the people with whom it was shared. On the other hand, if the idea is belittled or if the student is mocked in any way, then a very different conclusion is reached: that these are not people to be trusted with information that is in any way intimate. In order to build trust, teachers need to observe students' levels of participation along with how students react to each other's answers, and steadily increase the depth of intimacy and authenticity invited by prompting questions. choosing prompts that invite more intimate exposure of personal thoughts and feelings. This carefully managed and sequenced journey into greater intimacy and authenticity is a cornerstone of building community with circle dialogue. So, let's take a look at some characteristics of prompting questions. When building trust and connectedness, we want to use prompts that are based on non controversial subjects. They're easy to answer without introspection. There's a wide range of choice in answers that are honest. Usually, these prompts are fun and fast and invite lots of smiling. They're not particularly edgy and do not invite students into new territory. They're primarily about storytelling and connecting rather than content. On the other hand, when we are using our prompts to build intimacy and authenticity, the subject may be controversial. There's less choice in how the question may be answered honestly. Answers may require time and introspection. These prompts are often described as edgy and invite students to share in ways that are new or unfamiliar. And they are primarily about emotional expression and developing social skills. Here is the sequence of circle events. So let's take a look at the circle elements. Step 1, arrive and center yourself. Before the circle, check in with yourself prior to starting the circle. Assess your energy level, emotional state, physical condition, and anything else that will have an impact on how you show up as the circle keeper. Step 2 is opening the circle. After students are seated in the circle, tell them what the purpose of today's circle is. It is also helpful to have a routine that you use as a ceremony at the beginning of each circle. Step 3 is teach and remember the circle guidelines. Have the guidelines posted and refer to them as needed. They help circles function well. They are listed on the next page, so we'll take a look at that momentarily. Now let's take a look at the circle guidelines. First, respect the talking piece. Give those who hold it your full attention. When you are holding it, give full attention to your truth. Speak to the center of the circle. Handle the talking piece respectfully. 2, speak from the heart. Speak for yourself, your perspectives, needs, and experiences. Trust what comes from the heart will be what the circle needs. 3, listen from the heart. Let go of stories that make it hard to hear others. 4, say just enough without feeling rushed. Say what you need to say. And 5, trust that you will know what to say when it's your turn to speak. No need to rehearse. The fourth circle element is to make and remember agreements. In addition to intentions, each individual class should be given multiple opportunities to make additional agreements, perhaps about confidentiality or how to come to a consensus. Step 5 is connection. Do a check-in round with the talking piece. Begin every circle by checking in with your students. This gives students a chance to put their voice into the circle and feel connected. Step 6 is the core activities. Plan your core circle or circles based on the type of circle you are running. Is the content related to building community or responding to a challenging circumstance? How many questions will you ask? There is a handout that can guide you through this in the comment section of the video. Step 7 is a closure question. Ask the students to comment on their experience in the circle. If you have very little time, ask for a 2-word checkout. Step 8 is closing the circle. Close in a way that is intentional, perhaps even theatrical. Ring a bell or make some small gesture to signal moving back into class time from circle time. And step 9 is the option to debrief with colleagues. Talk about what you learned and if there were any surprises. Talk about any memorable things that happened or frustrations that you had and how you plan to apply that to your next circle. Thank you for watching this video on circles. Please reach out if you have any questions or comments.